I usually divided my time between my mother's house and my father's house throughout the week as I was growing up. They split up when I was around 3 years old, and despite the fact that they both made an effort to split their time with me equally, I would rather spend the majority of my time at my mother's residence. Despite having a demanding job as a full-time nurse and being in a financial bind, she still made an effort to make my childhood joyful by preparing my meals every evening. She was not a single mother, but I will always appreciate her efforts. For this reason, I was one of the many who gave Tia Mowry a side-eye when she referred to herself as a single mom on Instagram. Family may be different from what we imagined, but it can still be full of love, stability, and joy, she writes. It's about acknowledging we need to normalize different family dynamics. Different doesn't mean broken. She is correct in every way. No matter whether you're a foster parent, an adoptive parent, a kid who is LGBTQIA* and closer to your chosen family than your biological one, or a parent, your family is genuine and lovely. However, the commonly held definition of single mother is not significantly altered by what Mowry is arguing. The commenters on Mowry's message attempted to provide reasons for why she may have misused a term that has such a distinct meaning for so many individuals. You're single, but your kids have both their parents, present, and very much involved in the continued upbringing, one person writes. Being a single mother and being single are two things that can coexist, but when people call themselves a single mom, it usually implies that they are entirely responsible for their children's care, which is not the case for you, says another commenter. Look, I'm not the first to acknowledge that trolls will use any excuse to embarrass women, including the fact that mothers only live online. I believe that Mowry has the right to give fresh meanings to old, seemingly obsolete words. But I also understand why her followers responded, especially considering her affluence and position as a celebrity and actress. The term single parent may be offensive to some parents since it acknowledges that the responsibility is borne by the parent alone, even if the other parent resides outside the home. They are responsible for everything. There are no shared birthday celebrations, no weekends spent at the other parent's home, and nobody to work with on anything from discipline to toilet training. The other parent could be obligated by the court to pay child support, but they have no other responsibilities in raising the child in question. Mom is alone when you say, single mother. That's all the term means. Mowry says in another caption, the nuance of being a single mom is often overlooked. I'm single, and I'm taking care of everyone in my house. I have a great deal of empathy for her point of view, and I can see that she puts in a lot of effort for children every day. I would even agree with the notion that people should be given more leeway in defining what complex dynamics look like for particular families. There is no single word that can adequately capture the whole parenting experience. Therefore, this is not meant to downplay or undervalue the daily efforts that women like my mother and Mowry are making to nurture their children. Sometimes, it's a lonely, tiring, and unappreciative profession. However, it also implies that your relationship with your children is almost unbreakable. Throughout the weeks I resided with my mother, she was solely in charge of my nourishment, transportation to school, safety, and sense of love. They are not, however, carrying out this task alone. Even if they are no longer on speaking terms with their ex-partner, they are still working with someone else to bring up their children. Mowry goes on to say that, at least in her family, traditions are maintained alive during special events like holidays and birthdays, when kids should see their parents in the same room, united, which suggests that both parents join together to celebrate. As Mowry rightly puts it, there is not only one way to be a single mother, and there is not only one story. Depending on a number of variables, such as the extent to which the parent has the backing of their community, their financial situation, and even the resources available in their city, that dynamic could look very different. Regardless of your opinion of Mowry, we must treat parents with compassion and understanding throughout their parenting journey, regardless of the language they use.